Hello and welcome to Cinebuck Presents, where I give my $2 instead of my 2 cents. Ever since The Force Awakens had become such a huge critical and commercial hit, it got me to wonder how the Star Wars franchise would be able to outdo itself at this point. In some ways, I have expected this latest installment to be even better than the last one, while in other ways, I have expected it to be not as great as the last one. So, which is it? First, the story. In this episode, a female scavenger named Rey had been sent by the Resistance to ask Luke Skywalker to help fight against the First Order, but he initially refuses to. However, he is willing to train Rey in the ways of the Force. Little does he know of how strong the Force is within her. Meanwhile, we find that the First Order had placed a tracking device on the main vessel that the Resistance is using, so no matter where the Resistance goes, the First Order would find them. A couple members of the Resistance come up with a plan to hack into that tracking device so that they can make their escape. It's only a matter of time until a major battle between the forces of good and evil collide. After finally seeing this film for myself, here's my verdict on it. It's good, just not as great as the last episode. What intrigued me about this episode is the way it strayed away from the standard Star Wars formula, which I found to be a nice change of pace. Having a little variety in a franchise can be a good thing, so long as it can keep enough of what's familiar to both fans and non-fans alike. I'm sure there are some Star Wars purists and major fans out there who might not like the changes in the structure and direction this movie went with, but personally, I didn't mind the changes, as I was far too distracted from the visual grandeur and imagination to get all nitpicky about it. There are a couple of things that I do have my nitpicks with. First off, the running time. I mean, it's 2.5 hours long. It doesn't necessarily drag, but I feel the movie should have been more condensed so that it could have more tighter storytelling. It may be long, but it does make up for its clever moments as well as a few creative ideas that kept me interested the whole way through. My other nitpick is that I just wish a lot more development could have been put into some of the characters as well as a better explanation of some things, like how the Force actually works. I haven't read enough of the Star Wars mythology to really care that much about it, but to me, as a regular moviegoer who's not a fan of Star Wars, having such vast knowledge of the mythology shouldn't really matter. All that really matters is that I was entertained and that it allowed itself for open discussions about the mythology and sci-fi fantasy that it presented, which I believe were this movie's main goals. So with all those nitpicks aside, I would say that overall, it could have done a lot more, but I was generally satisfied with it. I'm sure the next chapter is saving up for something even grander and perhaps even better. I do look forward to seeing what's going to happen next in a galaxy that's far, far away. With that said, I give this movie on a scale of 1 to 10, a 7.5. It's not the most perfect Star Wars movie, but it's still good in its own right. This is Renton Whitetail having given us $2 and signing off. See you guys next time. Take care.